today, Paul Thorpe uploaded a video defending Hublot watches, and I love Paul Thorpe first and foremost. I'm not. This is not an attack on Paul Thorpe at all. I love the guy. I think he's hugely important for the YouTube watch community. I think he does more than anybody for us, the viewers. I worship that guy. He's amazing. But that doesn't mean I don't disagree with him every now and then. And he kind of defended Hublot watches today. And a couple of the points he made were, we talk about value for money when we talk about watches. But come on, do we really look for value for money? Is that really at the top of our list? And he has a point. You know, we do look for watches for other reasons besides value for money. But there's a difference between not having value for money and just egregious pricing for what you get. No, you're not always looking for the best deal and the best value for money, but you're also not looking to get ripped off. You know, you're not looking to pay $20,000 for a piece of rubber. And I'm not saying that Hublot is just a piece of rubber, but I want to go through all the Hublot watches on their website, and I want to see if there's any watches that I like personally. To clarify, this is my personal opinion about these watches. This is not gospel, this is not fact. This is just how I feel about them when I see them. Because ultimately I think that's what people don't like about Hublot. They just don't like the way they look, coupled with the price. They're very expensive watches, and a lot of them don't look very good, you know, and that's it. That's what it boils down to. Furthermore, when it comes to looking good, a big aspect of looking good is it going to look good in 20 years? Is it going to look good in 40 years? We'll see, I guess, right? I'll tell you my opinion about these watches. So we begin here on the home page, where you can click on different styles of watches. So this first one is novelties. I think that's like special editions and things like that. So we'll come back and look at that at the end, because I think that's going to include all different models. So we'll start with the basic models, the first one being the Big Bang. Now this picture straight away, I don't like it. I don't like the watch that I'm seeing. Again, that's my opinion. It says, Hublot's flagship model, the Big Bang, has revolutionized the watchmaking universe with its extraordinary design. A contemporary icon, it is constantly reinventing itself, leaving room for all the technical and aesthetic daring. More than a watch, a state of mind. So, you know, things like that, I don't think people like, but let's just continue. So the first watch they show us is this connected watch, and it's an extremely expensive smartwatch. I'm sure it's way better than an Apple Watch, but come on. So let's start with the Unico, and there's 74 different models of it. So we won't take long, we'll just look at this really quickly. Alright, personally, I don't like it. I think it's ugly. The size is not too bad at 42 millimeters, because I know for Hublot that's a pretty small watch. I don't mind the bracelet and case shape, but it's too corny. It's skeletonized, which I don't like, and you know, look at this one with diamonds all in it, and it's $179,000. Now, yeah, it's all encrusted with diamonds, but I mean, these are ceramic. These are $23,000. Jeez. The titanium one is $20,000. What? That's crazy. You're telling me there's $20,000 worth of watchmaking in this watch? No way. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. And you know, I think you're kind of a fool to buy this watch. I think Hublot takes advantage of, you know, rich window shoppers who maybe they're on vacation and they're shopping up and down Fifth Avenue, and they don't know anything about watches, but they may have seen the name Hublot, because Hublot advertises all over the place like crazy, almost as much as Rolex. So they recognize the name Hublot, and then they see the watches in the window maybe, and they say, oh, that's actually kind of a nice watch, and they've got more money than sense, and they buy some watch like this. So that's the demographic that I think Hublot is trying to take advantage of. I don't think they're looking for enthusiasts. I don't think that they're pushing any boundaries. Look, they use some really cool materials, I'll give them that, but you better be prepared to pay out the nose for those materials, and I think you can get them elsewhere for better. Again, Paul Thorpe was criticizing exactly what I'm saying. He was like, look, are we really looking for value for money all the time? No, you're right, Paul. Not necessarily, but I think you have to draw the line somewhere. If you really want a ceramic watch, I think you can find it elsewhere for a better price. Maybe the whole entire bracelet and everything is not going to be ceramic. Personally, I don't know. I haven't shopped around for ceramic watches because I think it's a really bad idea for a watch, but these are very expensive and you're overpaying. No one can dispute that you're overpaying for these watches. They're freaking expensive as hell, man. Alright, that was the first big bang. Let's look at the original. It's 44 millimeters, so it's very big. And again, personally, I don't like this watch. I think it's not a good looking watch. You know, it's probably one of the simplest watches they make, besides the that other one. We'll look at that in a second. But look, I don't think it's a very nice watch. I'm sorry, and I don't think it's going to look good in 50 years. When you pass this down to your kids are going to be like, all right, Grandpa, what is this, 2020? You know, that's what they're going to say, because it's not timeless. You're spending a lot of money. I mean, look, 13 grand, in Hublot terms, that seems like a good deal. But if you look at other watches that you could get for 13 grand, come on, man. This is not 13 grand worth of horology right here. I'm sorry, it's not. But let's take a quick look at the movement that they use. I just want to see real quick. Okay, so it says that it's an in-house movement, the HUB 4100, but I'm gonna search. I'm gonna see what the base caliber is. There's a fantastic website called watchbase.com, if you haven't heard of it, and it'll tell you what the base caliber of the watch is. There we go. So Hublot calls it an in-house caliber, but it's based on an ETA 7753. Come on. You gotta be kidding me. Now, am I saying that Hublot doesn't do any work on the movement? No, I'm sure they really decorate it and modify it to at least try to keep up with that price tag that they're going for. But it's still based on an ETA. Okay, it's not in-house. It's not. But if you go look at it, it doesn't say in-house here, and these are the technical specifications, but if you just go to the top of the watch and you're thinking about buying it, and you go down, you're scrolling down, you know, the big fancy thing is here. Look, movements, pioneering movements. The art of fusion is expressed right through the heart of the movement. Simple watches with innovative watchmaking concepts, Hublot has created a range of unique in-house movements, a unique design of the Unico automatic chronograph. 50-day power reserve, whatever, okay? Whatever. This all means nothing if it's based on an ETA. In my opinion, let me again clarify that. I'm going to be saying that a lot throughout this video because this is all my opinion. You can have your own opinion. You can buy this watch. I'm not going to judge you for buying this watch. I'm not going to judge you for liking any of these watches. I'm just here today to tell you what I think about them. So the rest of them are just variations of gold or whatever. The next big bang, oh, this is that Mecha 10 they mentioned. Maybe this has an in-house movement. We'll see. Okay, so again, just first impressions, I don't like it. I think it's ugly. I think it's industrious looking. and it kind of looks like a toy. Kind of looks like a watch that you would get your nephew because he's in middle school and he thinks, you know, crazy looking goofy gadgets are really cool. And goofy gadgets can be really cool, but not for $20,000. Not for $20,000. So I'm just going to look real quick at the movement. The movement is the HUB 1201 manufacturer. They put the word manufacturer in there, so that usually means it's in-house. What did they say it was? HUB 1201, right? Okay, fine, fair enough. I'll give it to them. It looks like it's in-house. It doesn't have an ETA base. It would say it here under base. So fine, fair enough. I'm happy. I'm glad. It's 10 days power reserve, that's cool. Yeah, no, that's great. That's really cool. Just again, my personal opinion is that it's nowhere near worth 20 grand. Okay? Every Rolex movement is in-house. You're getting an in-house movement with Rolex, and Rolex is charging you 8, 9, 10 grand for their steel watches. I mean, this is titanium, but titanium is no more expensive than steel. All right? And I'd rather steel, honestly. Yeah, overpriced, but again, Paul, I doubt you're watching, but if you are, this is a direct response to your criticism about us looking for value for money. I agree with you. We shouldn't always look for value for money. We should look for things we like and things that get us excited. And if this gets you excited, by all means, you know, get it, buy it, and enjoy it. But personally, it doesn't get me excited at all. In fact, I feel nothing for these watches. They're very cold watches. I feel like they have no soul. They really have no soul. They're very industrious and just almost alien. They would not seamlessly fit into my life and onto my wrist. They would kind of be this, they would stick out. They'd be this separate thing. Like my outfits and my persona and everything about me is relatively cohesive. And a Rolex fits into that whole aesthetic very well. But this would just stick out like a sore thumb. And that's why I think a lot of people don't like Hublot, is because, you know, things like this. I mean, what is this thing? This is ridiculous looking. We're not going to look into it. The goal of this video is to try to find a Hublot that I like. And I don't like these. They're crazy and overpriced. And obviously I don't like these. These are absolutely hideous. So we're going to move on. I think that covers the Big Bang. By the way, we've only been looking at the Big Bang. See, view all Big Bang watches. I'm not going to view all Big Bang watches. I get the idea. I don't like them. They're not for me. Now this one I have some hope for. The Classic Fusion. I'm hopeful here because they look simple and something I can wrap my brain around. Alright, unique, strong, and essential, the Classic Fusion collection reinterprets classic elegance with Hublot's incomparable touch. A resolutely unique style available in a wide variety of movements, designs, materials, and colors. Yeah, there's a lot of... I mean, one thing I gotta say, Hublot makes a crap ton of models. I mean, look at this. 116 of these three hands, 67 chronograph models. It's a lot. But actually, I was gonna say, you know, that Rolex keeps it simple. But I have a video, I'll link it here, where I go on Rolex's website and I record every single model and every single variation of watches that Rolex makes. And it's something like 1,500 different watches. It's a very, very big number. Rolex makes a lot of watches. So don't think it's just like, oh, the Submariner, the GMT, the Daytona. Oh, they make like 10, 15 different models. No. They make over 1,000 different variations. And I think this is what's happening here with Hublot. They're just making different variations of the same watch. Like, let's look at the three-hand. This is probably the only watch that I've liked so far. And especially these sizes. I mean, 42 is probably the best size, but 38 for a smaller guy than me, I mean, hell yeah. Look at these prices. 7 grand. Fantastic. This is really cool. I can get behind this for sure. Nice blue dial. But again, it's 7 grand, but what's the movement? And does Hublot put the same effort that it puts into its higher end stuff as they do with this stuff? Is there the same watchmaking that goes into it? I don't know. But like, I like this one in this army green. I think this is a nice watch. Let's look at this one. All right, 42 millimeters. I'm with it. 50 meters water resistant. That's not great. That's kind of disappointing. Is there a screw down crown? It doesn't say anything about the crown. But here's the HUB 1110 movement. HUB 1110. Oh, Sellita base caliber. Now I was expecting that. I knew it was gonna be a Sellita or an ETA, but just that goes to show you it's nothing special here. You're not getting anything special here. If you really want something special from Hublot, you need to spend like $20,000. Whereas if you want to get something special from Rolex, you spend $7,300. You can spend $7,300 with Rolex and get something really special. You can spend 5 grand with Rolex and get something special. Everything from Rolex, you get an in-house movement, you get all their same in-house manufacturing, the steel, the loom, everything. You get that with Rolex. I don't know if you get that here with Hublot. I doubt it. I don't think that Hublot makes the loom. I don't think that Hublot makes the rubber for their straps. I don't think they have their own metal smithing operation making these cases. Maybe they cut the cases, but they don't make the metal. I'm just guessing here. I don't know this for sure, but I'm just guessing that they don't. But they're charging you more than an OP or about the price of a Datejust for this. The one thing I'll give it credit for is it's stylish by today's standards. It's got that sort of integrated look. It's got those bolts around the thing resembling a Royal Oak. So it's kind of in right now. But how's it going to look in 20 years? How's it going to look in 50 years? If you pass this down to your grandkids, are they going to sell it? Are they going to never wear it because they're still wearing Rolex? Probably, honestly, probably. So there you go. Look, so far I'll say I like this watch. And if I was, a millionaire and I had all this money to buy watches that I just simply liked, to Paul Thorpe's point, then yeah, I would probably buy one of these classic fusions. I think that these are reasonable watches. They look pretty comfortable. The rubber is probably nice, and it, I like a rubber strap, so the classic fusion is probably what I'd go for. Not these ones, not the chronograph, not this moon phase. How much are they charging for this moon phase? So you got 45 and 42 millimeters. Alright, in titanium, man, these guys don't like steel. In titanium, it's 16 grand. That's not crazy, right? I mean, maybe I have Hublot blinders on and 16 grand is cheap all of a sudden, but look, I think you can do worse. I don't like it. I think it's ugly. I think it's really, really ugly. Let me just clarify that. But if you like it, if you don't think it's ugly and you think it's nice or whatever, then I guess this is a more reasonable option for you. But I'm sticking with the 3-hand Classic Fusion in olive green. That is a watch that I, Dr. Rolex PhD, approves of and likes almost. Let's look at these ones. Aero Fusion chronograph. Yeah, these, I hate these. I hate the case and all that. They're doing too much with this. It's too much. Take it down a notch. I mean, this is crazy. 56 grand for this. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine like winning the lottery or something? You win $1 million and you spend 5% of it on this thing. I mean, this ceramic one, I guess, is cool and white, but 20 grand for a 45 millimeter something or other. So yeah, I don't like them, but and these are just going to be special editions and whatnot. So we'll put it down as a Classic Fusion 3-hand. That's a watch that I approve of. All right. Now the next one is the Spirit of Big Bang. Let's see what this is all about. Hublot has adopted the spirit of Big Bang in an exclusive barrel-shaped collection, so Richard Mille-shaped collection. With their clever multi-layer construction, the cases open the way to countless combinations of materials, colors, and finishes. Okay, so it's just Richard Mille. It's just a cheaper Richard Mille. I mean, come on, this is just so obviously going for the Richard Mille thing. I mean, look at this, the Mecha 10. It's an in-house movement, as we know, but this is why people don't like Hublot. Look, another reason, this design is not original. I will give it to Hublot that some of their designs are original. What was it, the Classic Fusion that I liked? The Classic Fusion doesn't look like a Rolex, it doesn't look like a AP. I mean, it resembles, has certain features, but it's an original design. But this is not. This is just straight up copying Richard Mille. And, you know, to get it in titanium, it's going to cost you 23 grand. But at least you get an in-house movement, right? And maybe that girl across the bar is going to think you're wearing a Richard Mille. I don't know why you'd want her to think that either, but if that's what you're going for, then you might be able to do it with this. Tourbillon. I'm not going to look at these. I'm not going to waste your time. These, you know, we all get it. We don't like them. I don't like them. Yeah, on to the next one. Don't like them. MP. Now, this is intriguing looking, I'll say that. I'm interested. I want to know what's going on here. Do I like it? Not, you know, I don't hate it. I don't think. Oh, yeah, oh, God. All right, so I hate these. I hate the yellow. The black is interesting. Oh, it's 200 grand. Well, look, it's a tourbillon in there. Let's just look at it. We'll look at the black one. So we'll keep in mind that most of these are butt ugly, but we'll look at the black one. It's 49 millimeters and 5-day power reserve. The other one had a 10-day power reserve. If you're in the store and you just were looking at a 10-day power reserve, and then you come over here and like 5% of the watch dial real estate says 5-day power reserve, you're like, wait, why? Why did you put that there? Put it on the back, if anything. Wait, that's not something to brag about. You have a 10-day power reserve over there. But anyway, you know, I don't like this look. It's crazy looking, but that's me personally. I think a lot of people do like this crazy stuff. They do like people to... This is the type of watch that people are going to come up and say, whoa, what is that? What's going on there? And you can explain it to them and whatever the hell this is on the side and what this is doing here. And, you know, I get it. I can understand somebody buying this watch if they have more money than sense. Obviously, it's 200 grand, so no reasonable person is buying this watch. You know, 30 meters water resistance, whatever. It's not a dive watch, but limited edition to 50. Oh, I haven't been looking if any of these are limited edition, but you know, you get some carbon in there and in-house movement. Look, yeah, this watch is kind of cool to look at, you know, and it would be really cool if, you know, your friend got it so that you could just play with it. But for you to buy it, terrible idea. You know, really bad. So yeah, I hate it. And the green one, ugh, jeez, can you imagine? All right, I think that's it. You know, I think that's it. We went through Big Bang, Classic Fusion, Richard Mille, and MP. Well, let's look at the novelties. Let's see what Hublot can offer us as a novelty. Yeah, I've seen a couple of these before floating around. I'll let you know when there's one that I like. Okay, look, I'm a sucker for army green, so I do kind of like this one, I guess. I've probably been on the Richard Mille website. Richard Mille. I've probably been on the Hublot website for so long now that I'm just looking for anything that I'd be, you know, I wouldn't be embarrassed to wear. So, and this is it. But, you know, I don't like this watch. I wouldn't go out of my way to buy it, especially for 24 grand. But it's reasonable. It's a reasonable looking watch, and I'm a sucker for that green. So and then you get down here to these monstrosities. 500 grand for this thing, sapphire. I don't get the whole sapphire thing. I think it's silly. I think it's dumb. It's like put it in a museum, you know? This thing doesn't belong on your wrist. If you hit a wall or something and this breaks, my God, 400 grand down the drain. 400. Let's not forget about the 22. That's not insignificant. That's a big bang right there. That 22 grand. This ceramic here, I hate these watches. I really do. I think they're just so corny looking. God. Yeah, I mean, this website just gives you, it's just shock after shock after shock. I mean, what are these things? They're awful. These are really bad, man. In 20 years, you're going to be embarrassed for these things. They're not nice, classically designed watches. They're not. They're a fad, you know? Like Richard Mille. Richard Mille is a fad, okay? Yes, they're cool. No one's saying they're not cool, and if Richard Mille turns you on, then great, get yourself a Richard Mille. If this stuff turns you on, get yourself this thing. Just be warned that this is not going to be cool in 20 or 30 years. It's not. I'm sorry, I'll put my reputation on the line and predict that right now. This is not going to be cool in 20 years. There's going to be new technology, there's going to be new things going on in watchmaking. Hublot themselves are going to be having new watches going on with different technologies. So what you have from 2021 is not going to be cool in 2041. A Submariner will be cool in 2041. I'll tell you that right now. I'll put everything on the line for that. A Submariner from 1999 is going to be cool in 2041. But look at this, going for the Rainbow Daytona look, and yeah, this is just, it's ugly. It's really ugly stuff. Look at this, really ugly. In my opinion. So that's it. I'm not going to go on anymore. We've looked at all of them. I like maybe 2 of their watches. I wouldn't be embarrassed to wear 2 of their watches. And that's why people don't like Hublot. It's not anything deeper than that. There's no philosophical reason why people don't like Hublot. They just literally don't like Hublot watches. If you spend any time in the watch hobby and looking into horology and history and, you know, the provenance of a lot of watches, you reach Hublot and it's just none of that. It's none of that provenance. It's none of that class that you get with other brands. It's just a cheap fad. Well, it's not cheap, but it's a fad. You're overpaying for it. On top of that, it's like, here's this piece of crap. Oh, and by the way, you're going to pay double for it. You know, it's just, that's why people don't like it. It's nothing deeper than that. People are trying to look at deep reasons why Hublot gets so much hate. No, they get so much hate because they don't make very nice watches and they overcharge for them. That's it. That's it. And hopefully we've looked at most of their watches here today, and hopefully you could have seen that for yourself. All right, peace out.